Welcome to Royal Daily Report, your trusted source for royal family news and investigations. I'm your host, and today we bring you a story that will shock you. Don't forget to subscribe to Royal Daily Report and hit the bell icon so you never miss our breaking news. The story you are about to hear will shake everything you know about the royal family. For many years, people have been whispering about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's children. But now, those whispers have become serious questions. These questions are supported by documents, numbers, and official records that do not match up. At the center of this controversy is Princess Lilibet Diana. She was announced to the world as Harry and Meghan's daughter. The announcement said she was born in California in June 2021. The world celebrated with headlines, photographs, and congratulations. But when you look deeper, something is wrong. The records show a birth code that does not match California. Official registries say no record exists, and the doctor who supposedly delivered her disappeared from her medical practice just days later. Step by step, the story looks less like a beautiful royal birth and more like a carefully hidden secret. And now, for the first time, people are asking, was Lilibet actually adopted? If the answer is yes, this would completely destroy the royal line of succession. Meghan Markle could find herself in the biggest royal scandal in decades. Remember to subscribe to Royal Daily Report for more exclusive investigations like this one. This is the story of how Lilibet's adoption may have just been exposed. Let me break it down in simple terms, so everyone can understand. The rules of succession in the royal family, not just anyone can be in line for the throne. There are rules, exactly 4 of them. First rule, the parents must be a man and a woman. That's simple enough. Harry and Meghan, they passed this test. Second rule, they must be legally married in the Church of England. Harry and Meghan had their big royal wedding, so they passed this test too. Third rule, the child must be conceived naturally. This means no surrogates, no secret adoptions, at least not if the baby is supposed to qualify for the crown. Fourth rule, and this one is very important, the baby must be born from the mother's body, and the record of that birth must be completely clear. The doctor's name, the hospital, the signatures, everything must be public and verified, so there is no doubt. Now, here is where the problem becomes huge. Archie is 6th in line to the throne. Lilibet is 7th. This means that, in theory, these 2 children could one day become king or queen of England. We are not talking about gossip magazine stories here. We are talking about the official paperwork that decides the future of the monarchy itself. The official story, so let's go back to the story the world was told. On June 4, 2021, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry announced that Meghan had given birth to a healthy baby girl at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital in California. They named her Lilibet Diana Mount. Lilibet was Queen Elizabeth's childhood nickname, and Diana was after Harry's mother. The announcement was celebrated all over the world. A photo was released showing the baby smiling in the grass. Everything looked picture perfect. Around that time, newspapers published what appeared to be Lilibet's California birth certificate. It had all the basic information: name, date, location, and even Harry's title. That seemed to answer all questions. But soon after, people who investigated carefully noticed something strange. Details on the certificate did not match what California law allows, and some of the codes printed on it pointed to a completely different place. Stay with Royal Daily Report as we uncover more shocking details. And then came an even bigger surprise. The obstetrician connected to the story, Dr. Melissa Drake, suddenly shut down her practice not long after Lilibet's birth. In her notice to patients, she said she needed to focus on her own health and her family. That could be innocent, of course. But for people already questioning the records, it raised another red flag. This was especially concerning because her husband runs a fertility clinic, which made people whisper about other possible explanations for the birth. This is where the cracks in the official story began to show. What looked like a simple, happy announcement suddenly had many unanswered questions. The document problems. Now we get to the most important part of the story: the documents. On the surface, Lilibet's birth certificate looked official. It had her name, date, and Santa Barbara listed as the place of birth. But hidden inside the numbers, there is something that makes no sense. Every U.S. birth certificate has a string of numbers. Think of it like a secret code. Part of that code identifies the state where the baby was born. In California, that code is supposed to be 104. But on Lilibet's certificate, the number printed was 105. And here is the shocking part. According to government charts, 105 does not belong to California at all. It belongs to Colorado. Let's stop here for a moment. If a birth certificate for a baby says born in Santa Barbara, but the state code points hundreds of miles away to Colorado, that is not just a typing mistake. That is like printing a passport that says London but encoding it as Lisbon. It does not make sense. This single number, the 105, is what started the biggest wave of suspicion. Because if that number is correct, it means the certificate was not issued in California at all. And if it is wrong, why has it never been corrected? Make sure you're subscribed to Royal Daily Report so you don't miss any updates on this developing story. No record found but the wrong state code is not the only problem. When the investigator in our source filed a formal request with California's Vital Records Office, paying the fee and submitting all the details, they got a shocking reply: no record found. That's right. According to California's own registry, there is no public record of a baby named Lilibet, Diana Mountbatten Windsor, being born on June 4, 2021. Instead of a birth certificate, the state issued what is called a certificate of no public record. Think about what that means. Newspapers can publish scanned images all day long, but when someone goes to the actual state database, there is nothing there. Zero. And there is one more strange detail. The birth certificate image published by outlets like the Daily Mail and TMZ did not just list Harry's name as Henry Charles Albert David. Instead, it included his royal style, His Royal Highness, Duke of Sussex. That might sound harmless. After all, that is who he is. But here is the problem. California law does not allow titles to appear on official documents. Birth certificates must use legal names only. This means that if a copy in the press shows a title, it has either been edited or it is not a true official document at all. So by this point, we have three major problems. 1. A state code pointing to Colorado, not California. 2. An official registry that says no record exists. 3. Titles printed on a certificate where they are not legally allowed. Each of these by itself would be strange. Together, they look like a puzzle demanding answers. The investigation deepens. Now here is where the investigation becomes even more interesting. The person investigating this did not just post theories online. They went step by step with real research. First, they filed the email request and got the no record reply. Then they picked up the phone. The call lasted exactly 25 minutes and 45 seconds with the California Vital Records Office. On that call, according to their notes, a staff member confirmed that California's code is always 104, never 105. In other words, the mismatch was not just someone's imagination. It was confirmed by the office itself. Next, the investigator went even bigger. They wrote to the UK Parliament under the Freedom of Information Act, asking them to confirm Archie's birthplace at Portland Hospital in London. Parliament's reply: they said they were not a hospital and therefore could not confirm anything. They pointed the investigator toward Buckingham Palace instead. But here's the problem. The palace is not subject to freedom of information laws at all. This means dead end. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report to stay informed about this unprecedented investigation. So on one side, you have US officials saying no record found. On the other side, you have UK officials bouncing the responsibility back to the palace. And right in the middle are two children, Archie and Lilibet, whose positions in the line of succession depend entirely on documents that no one seems able or willing to verify. And remember, these are not minor details. These are the very records that decide who is a prince, who is a princess, and who one day could be king or queen of England. Which brings us to the biggest question of all. If the paperwork is this messy, what does that actually mean? Why this matters now, let me explain why all this paperwork matters so much. Under the laws of succession, there are 4 requirements that cannot be negotiated for any royal child to be officially included in the line to the throne. 1. The parents must be legally married. 2. That marriage must be recognized by the Church of England. 3. The child must be conceived naturally. 4. The child must be delivered from the body of the mother, verified by doctors, and officially recorded. On paper, these rules may sound simple, but they are absolute. Every child before Archie and Lilibet had their births confirmed publicly with signed notices from doctors displayed outside Buckingham Palace. That transparency existed for one reason: to eliminate any doubt. But for Harry and Meghan's children, none of that happened. No doctor's signatures, no palace display board, no transparent record. Just announcements, photos, and documents full of strange details. If even one of those 4 requirements was not met or cannot be proven, the whole foundation falls apart. The institutional silence. You would think that with something this important, the institutions responsible would step in and provide answers. But when Parliament was asked to verify details, they refused. Their answer: Parliament is not a hospital, so it cannot confirm births. Then they said to ask Buckingham Palace. But the palace is not bound by freedom of information laws, which means complete silence. That leaves us with a bizarre picture. An ordinary citizen, or even the press, can ask, can search, can email, can phone. But when they reach the highest levels of government or monarchy, the trail goes cold. Keep watching Royal Daily Report for the latest developments in this breaking story. So here is the puzzle. Either these institutions do not have the records, or they do not want the records to be seen. And if they do not want them seen, the question is, why? 3 possible explanations. Now we are left with 3 possible explanations. Option 1. Clerical mistake. Maybe someone at an office typed the wrong number, -104 versus 105, and no one ever fixed it. But if that is true, how could such a high-profile couple with the entire world watching allow such a careless mistake? Option 2. Surrogate or adoption. If Lilibet was not born directly from Meghan, then requirement for forced succession is not met. A surrogate birth or an adoption would explain the secrecy, the vanishing doctor, and the no record found notices. Option 3. Deliberate cover-up. If the palace and press both know the documents do not add up but focus public attention on small distractions like Harry using his Royal Highness title on a certificate that keeps the deeper problems out of sight. And here is the frightening part. If any of these explanations are true, then Lilibet and even Archie should not legally be in the line of succession at all. Yet both children are officially listed, Archie as 6th and Lilibet as 7th. So where does this leave us? We have a birth certificate with a Colorado code, a state registry that says no record found, a doctor who vanished from practice days after the supposed birth, a palace that refuses to provide transparency, and laws that demand absolute certainty before placing a child in the line to the throne. Individually, each piece might be explained away. Together, they tell a story that does not add up. And when the stakes are this high, the line to the British Crown stories that do not add up matter. This is not about gossip. This is about the integrity of the monarchy itself. The royal family's own rules demand proof, and that proof has never been shown. So here is the blunt truth. Until the discrepancies are answered, until the records are verified, and until the public sees the same level of transparency shown for every other royal child, Archie and Lilibet's places in the line of succession remain under a shadow, and shadows, when ignored, do not disappear. They grow. This has been Royal Daily Report, bringing you the investigations that matter. If you found this story shocking, please subscribe to Royal Daily Report. Hit the like button and share this video with everyone who needs to know the truth. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they develop. Stay informed, stay questioning, and remember, the truth always deserves to be uncovered.